Hi guys. Oh my gosh. So last night I sat down to record that video at 3 in the morning and the internet went out and cut off my video. And so now I have to tell you the story about this glandular ointment. Okay. So this is Dr. Christopher's glandular ointment and I bought it years ago. My own little bottle says it expired in 2020, but my understanding of herbal concoctions like that is that they don't really expire. So I was using it anyway. It's just a cream. You just put it on your lymph nodes and stuff. So I was putting it on my lymph nodes. And when I do that, I always get like a hot feeling in the back of my throat, which I have right now. Like I feel like my tissues start draining. And the first time I put it on right here, and a vein right here started bulging out and it got really swollen and painful. And so I put the cream on it there, and then it kind of just died down and did its thing, I guess. But like it's clearly moving stuff around. So this is what happened. So I took out this glandular ointment and I am visiting my parents right now. It's my parents' realm. And my mom put some on her lymph nodes over here, and then she put it on her elbows and pointed out that there's lymph nodes there as well, which I like theoretically knew, but hadn't done anything about. And so I put some on my elbow as well. And just a few hours later, my hand started aching. And I don't know, the lighting here is like very crazy, but my kids are inside and they're all very loud. I don't know if you can see this like bump right here, this little thing. It's like kind of red in real life and it's a bump. And it was not like that 24 hours ago. But I've had a little scar in that spot. Like it kind of culminates in this little pokey poke right there on my hand from when I gave birth to my fifth child in the hospital, and they had to hook me up to an IV or take my blood or whatever, and none of my veins would work except for that one in my hand. And so it was in there for several days and it hurt. It hurt 100% of the time it was in there at the hospital, and then it hurt for months afterwards. And then it stopped hurting and I just thought it was bruised. I just thought it was a bruise, but here we are, and I put all this glandular cream on, and I was helping my mom pull weeds, and I grabbed a weed and pulled, and I thought that I had burst a vein in the back of my hand. But I didn't. But now that spot where I've had this like little weird scar from that IV is now very swollen, and it's kind of like hard, and it's discolored, which I can't tell if you can tell in this lighting, but and it is just extremely painful. And I thought, oh my gosh, what are the odds that I have a loved one in the hospital who is all hooked up to an IV, and they had a giant IV trauma where none of their veins would work, and so they ended up having to take it from that person's hand on the same day and like the same time that I had this happen. And I was like, oh man, it must be energetic, and I'm sure that that is part of it, but also I think it's also because I used a bunch of herbs for for healing the glandular system, and now my glandular system is like, oh, there's a bunch of weird stuff left over from this IV, we better ferry it on out. So anyway, my hand is still in the middle of it. I've been spraying it with TRS. I've been adding more of that glandular ointment pretty regularly to the underside of my wrist, to my elbow, and then like they're like basically this whole region that's going to help flush whatever is going on in there out of my hand. So that will be really interesting, but I don't know. I don't know why I started telling that story at 3 in the morning, because I guess I'm a crazy person at 3 in the morning. But if you have glandular problems, you may want to look into that glandular ointment. I have no affiliation with Dr. Christopher or whatever, but yeah, it's just Dr. Christopher's glandular ointment and or glandular support cream or something like that. And I don't know, but all I can say is that it is actually working for me. So whatever that means, something is happening. There you go.